When I made the switch over to Alliance, I wanted to put stuff like this behind me. It was kind of a symbolic time in my life. I had been dealing with a lot of negativity and things that were dragging me down for a really long time, both in-game and IRL, and that moment was a big deal for me because I felt like I was putting that behind me, and there was no small part of it coming from this type of content on the channel as well. I guess I always felt like it was my responsibility to try to help the greater community weed out these infectious roots, and in some cases I do feel like it has helped. So when this happened on stream, I was really conflicted at first. Obviously, now that we're playing with Horde again, we're dealing with this kind of stuff all over again, but I just didn't know how to respond. Let's take a look at just what actually happens, and then we'll see a greater picture unfold.
And somebody's already offline, okay. It's like, man, this pack's not really dying very fast, considering we heroed. Oh, he's back at least. I was wondering if it was about to be like a Z moment. I disagree with your route, bro. I'm leaving. Alright. Well, I guess I was right about that guy. It just took longer to realize than I expected.
We had the same moment happen in BFA, and I actually referenced it in the stream there. A guy basically left the dungeon the second it started, and in a freehold, it was literally like within 5 or 6 seconds of the key starting, he was out of the group. This is basically the exact same situation. It just takes slightly longer for it to happen, and it's almost identical in terms of reasoning. Now, that time it was on a pretty low key. This is a much higher key. It's a 25 halls, and I get it, you know, sometimes there are complications in routing that actually make the dungeon unsuccessful, but I have to say this is just not going to be one of those times. What's become common is that everybody kind of rushes over to the left side to fight the Shard of Halkias, and I'm going to tell you my thought process into why I did not do that in this key. I had done it a few weeks ago on Fortified, and I got absolutely manhandled by these casters. It's typically because I pull in the third caster on the right by the stairs. I would do this very comfortably on any Tyrannical week or any week that isn't Fortified, basically any non-difficult trash week, and I've absolutely no problem surviving. The key problem with those mobs though are it's all avoidable damage and nobody ever interrupts it. So if everybody just interrupted it, I would feel perfectly comfortable. But when I do this key and people don't interrupt, it seems very likely that I can die to this pack, even with heroism up. So in my mind, I'm thinking, what's more important? More optimized first pull with me dying to it and potentially having everything scatter and kill even more people, or just a more conservative first pull and then do the dungeon in more basic order. Make sure that nobody within my power at least will be dying. You can have your opinions on that if you like, but I think it's not a stretch at all to say that this is not really going to impact the overall success of this key. But that's just all stuff in my head at the time, and I'm thinking maybe we try to give this guy the benefit of the doubt nowadays. He does disconnect, like he actually goes offline. So I was thinking maybe he was having some kind of internet issues, and then he came back, and then he got, you know, upset because of the deaths or whatever. And then he just, you know, kind of rage quit over the internet issues, right? That's what I was thinking. I was thinking in between keys, I'm like, you know, I don't want to do this again, man. I really just want to move on from this type of content, but it just keeps calling me back, man. And then this actually happens.
Oh, look who it is again. Cool. Well, I guess we will be making a video.
It's a slam dunk now, man. I'll tell you what, I literally did not want to make this video, and then this guy basically forces me. He actually admits to it, dude. It's unbelievable how confused people are playing this video game, and I just don't know how it's gotten to this point. In the BFA situation when this happened, I tried to use that video as a greater platform for change to this game, and honestly, Blizzard has seemingly responded slightly, but it's still just completely out of control. This guy not only thinks he's justified, but then he insults the way I'm playing my Death Knight. Like, if that's relevant at all. From what I could tell, the crux of this issue here is that DPS literally only care about actually doing damage. They don't actually care about succeeding in the keys. They don't care about the groups they're signing up to, the people in the groups, and they don't really care about actually being a skilled and progressive minded player. Like, literally the only problem that had occurred at that point was that guy going offline and then dying to an avoidable death. That's it. There had been no other error made at that point, and even though you, as the DPS, disagree with the route, it's not even an actual route issue, dude. It's the same packs we're gonna pull no matter what. It's just in a different order. So what's the actual problem here? The thing that's the most offensive to me, though, is that we actually just disband this key this quickly over absolutely nothing. Like, honestly, I believe this is gonna be an easy upgrade, and if it's not, I certainly don't think it's gonna be because we pulled some mobs in a different order. But let's move past that, and I want to say one more time that I obviously am extremely against anybody ever leaving a key. And sometimes I can see, why people would want to and all that. But, to me, it's the key holder's prerogative. If he wants to stop the key, then that's fine by him and we can all stop. But otherwise, the rest of the group has no say in that. They were lucky enough to get invited to this guy's key. And especially as a DPS, you really don't get to dictate much else but that. You do not have the leeway to then leave the key and expect there to be some defense of this as well, which is the really weird thing that this guy's actually trying to believe that he's right and he's like blaming my playstyle on, I don't even really know like if there's an actual issue there. Did you come to upgrade the key? I think the answer is actually no. And this is my overall big problem with pugging and the game in general right now. There's a lot of people playing it who just don't actually care about the way the game is laid out in terms of a progression system. Like when you actually sign up to a key and you don't care about upgrading it, which I believe this guy has clearly demonstrated is the case, you should honestly be banned. Like if it was up to me, I would ban this guy because it is not conducive with why he was invited to the group. There's a whole section of people out there who are feeling marginalized because they can't get invited to groups. And then this guy gets an invite to the group and he ends up being the least qualified candidate you can possibly get because he literally doesn't actually care about upgrading the key. So to me, that's unforgivable and it's really just never going to get solved. Doesn't seem like Blizzard wants to solve it. They've always been very scared to police their game's community. I think it's more because they don't have the resources to do it and they don't have the kind of impartial way to handle stuff like this. To me though, this is a very easy thing. I have video proof of it and then he actually admits to it. I'm not really sure what more it would take. They had this like new kind of reporting feature in the game in the PTR and it just never made it to live or whatever. They backed out on it. Maybe it's not finished. I don't know. But to me, this is clearly something that should be punishable and it is currently not. So at worst, I warned you about this guy. I feel like that's still productive. That was one of the things I was trying to do with the videos, like years ago and months ago. Just basically warn people that there's people out there like this. You invite somebody to a key and you think they're qualified and they're just not really going to actually try their best. They don't want to see it succeed. They're not there for success. They're there for some other reason. And then basically as soon as one small thing goes wrong, they're out. And honestly, in this case, nothing really even went wrong. So it's even worse than that. I will say that that was the nicest thing about playing Alliance. I've been enjoying 9.2.5 because I've been able to progress a lot more thanks to the more available keys from the Horde side players, but I am not really having fun being alongside this type of player again, and that is why I've been playing alts again. When I played on Alliance for those 3 or 4 months, I didn't have this a single time. I never had really any type of resistance at all. I was never questioned. I was never confronted. I've certainly never insulted for playing a certain covenant. And it's just kind of sad because it's really something that the game needs to shed to be able to be successful 17 years into its lifespan. You know what I mean? Like, it's not a very good look for new players or players who are on the periphery of trying to get better and trying to get to that next step. So I love the game. I love everything about it really, but honestly, at times the community really makes it hard to play. So hopefully Blizzard will someday try to take action on this, try to prevent it. I have laid out a bunch of different solutions to them. I have multiple videos on this topic now, but let's leave it at that. Thank you for watching. I hope this helps somebody and I hope that this can start a conversation that can help more people in the future. But thank you for watching. We will see you guys in the next video.